debt was no longer sustainable, Your Majesty. Your mechanical revolution has changed the face of the kingdom, but the coffers are woefully empty.
The debt, Monsieur Necker. This debt that you and your banking friends helped to create for your own benefit, and which is now forcing us to levy new taxes. Will my subjects be able to bear another tax?
Yes, Your Majesty, as long as it is distributed fairly. The representatives of the nobility, the clergy, and the Third Estate must come to an agreement. That is why we have convened the Estates General. Tomorrow you are to preside over the opening ceremonies.
Your Estates General. Nothing good can come of it. You have roused the spirit of rebellion. All I hear about are their damned cahiers de doléances. My rightful enjoyment is being challenged. The streets of Versailles are teeming with loudmouth fanatics with sacrilegious thoughts. Tell me, Monsieur le Ministre, have you purposely set this army of the unwashed against me?
Your Majesty, I have always been your most faithful servant.
Beware, Necker. Beware. I have a surprise in store for anyone who dares attack my throne.
Suzanne, my dear Suzanne, take my hand, please. Don't let them take me away. No. Oh no, this has to stop. I don't want to be tormented anymore.
That is not my intention. I have come to rescue you.
Rescue me? But what on earth are you?
It is of no importance. What did you see and hear before you regained consciousness?
I had frightful visions, rageful wraiths filled with pain and sorrow. And it was cold enough to curdle the blood. Oh, it's impossible to describe. All the rage and anger. I was in another body, I think. So big, so powerful. And there was this commanding voice, ordering me to spread terror and death. Did I really hear it? Or did I momentarily lose my mind?
Who are you, monsieur?
Don't you know? I'm Jacques Necker, Ministre des Finances. Well, I was before I was captured. But this situation suggests that the king has decided to dismiss me from his service.
What does he accuse you of?
My alleged connivance with the Third Estate, no doubt. And most of all, for having been the first to ask to convene the Estates General.
How and when were you captured?
When the machines attacked, my wife and I fled our home to hide not far from there, in the Église Sainte-Marie. But we didn't stand a chance against the machines. They overran the nave, wantonly mowing down the faithful. My wife, my poor wife, she wasn't able to escape. I'm sadly convinced of this. As for me, my life was spared only so I could be tormented. What is the meaning of all this?
What will you do now?
There is no future for me in this kingdom. I need to find a safe place where I can prepare for my departure as soon as possible.
I will take you to the Cordelier convent. You will be safe there.
À la bonne heure, she's back.
Aegis, what a joy and relief to see you again.
Monsieur,
Welcome to our stronghold. I'm sure that everyone here is aware of the great debt we all owe you. As you can see, the most exhausted among us are growing stronger.
While the most determined are already planning our counterattack.
I did not expect to see you all together.
4 days ago, the representatives of the Third Estate gathered in a tennis court. They swore not to separate until they had established a constitution for the nation. But that was not the only oath we swore. All the honorable men who were at Versailles, representatives and patriots, members of the Club Breton, secretly swore to meet here if they were dispersed.
You, Aegis, have allowed them to gather once again. Though unfortunately many are missing, we still have hope.
Why did you choose to meet in this convent?
It was my idea. Voyez-vous, I stay here whenever my obligations bring me to Paris. No other retreat inspires such peace and contemplation. Et puis, truth be told, this building has always felt like a fortress to me. Just look at how thick these walls are.
For 2 whole days, the patriots in the quarter consolidated the outer walls to make it an impenetrable citadel. No automat has broken through our defenses yet.
Where are the monks, mon père?
They are secluded in their quarters, praying for the salvation of the people of Paris. However, we bear no illusions. We are weak, we are divided.
And we are unarmed. Without you, without your warrior strength, we have no chance of turning things around.
You are sent by heaven above, Aegis. From now on, you may consider the Cordelia Convent your headquarters and a welcome refuge.
We must speak, you and I, in private, if you please. Monsieur de Lafayette must not hear a word of what I'm about to tell you.
What do you mean? You all seem to be certain that I will use my strengths to serve your cause. Are you forgetting that I have a task to accomplish?
Not at all, madame. We all know and support your plan to free Monsieur de Vaucanson. That is why I've taken the time to think of a way for you to get to the Bastille.
I am listening.
There is a patriot in Paris whose pamphlets have aroused Monsieur de Lafayette's ire. His anger is so strong that the poor man had to disappear to escape arrest. I know that he is secretly hiding in the quarries in Montmartre. A labyrinth he is said to know like the back of his hand. If anyone can help you navigate the obstacles that keep you from the Bastille, it is the elusive Monsieur Marat.
Very well. I will go and find him. Monsieur Necker.
I owe you my life, madame. So I am embarrassed to ask you for anything more.
Do not fear. You have my full attention.
Suzanne, my beloved wife. I cannot bring myself to accept her death. Despite all the evidence, I still hope to see her alive again. I need to be sure. Mon Dieu. What have I done to deserve such a fate? Why has the king sworn to destroy me? And all that I hold dear. After everything I've done for him. My abnegation.
Why would the king owe you anything?
I dedicated my life to the kingdom as his minister. Well, my life and my fortune as well. I refuse to accept any remuneration for my services in order to keep the accounts balanced. And I personally filled the king's coffers with 2.5 million livres from my own private accounts, bonds in the Caisse d'Escompte, which the king keeps in a tailor-made armoire de fer in the Palais des Tuileries. He stores all his secrets there. I'd wager there's enough in there to sully his reputation 100 times over. You must retrieve these bonds post-haste, madame. They must not be used to allow this madman to build more murderous automats.
Do I have any chance of opening it?
Don't even think about it, madame. Despite your incredible strength, that safe is said to be impenetrable. It was designed precisely to that effect. I personally never had access to it. I suppose that its contents were too unofficial for the honest minister that I always was.
Who has the key?
The king does, that's for sure.
Anyone else?
How could I know? His shadow advisors, most likely. Now that I think about it, there's a rumor that has been going round at Versailles for a while now. It's said that Monsieur de Mirabeau used to come and go as he pleased at the Tuileries, that he oversaw diplomatic missions for the crown. Not in any official capacity, of course. Who knows? He might know more about this matter than I do.
I will ask him. I will look into what happened to your wife.
Bless you, madame.
Where should I start my investigation?
In the Faubourg Saint-Germain, east of Les Invalides. We were separated in the Église Sainte-Marie, on Rue de Bourgogne.
I shall be off.
You are the only hope of seeing my beloved wife again, and of foiling the plans of the clockwork tyrant.
Aegis, a word, s'il vous plaît. Aegis, a word, s'il vous plaît.
Monsieur Raymond.
Aegis, we are very pleased to see you again. It was very unwise of us to leave the Société without such a capable bodyguard as yourself. It is a miracle that we got here safely.
See you later, perhaps. Monsieur...
Go on, Aegis.
What do you want to talk...
Have you ever heard of the...
No, monsieur.
It's an association that meets at the Hotel de Massiac, just west of those from Saint-Domingue and the Petit. They are waging a war of influence to keep the slave trade going, and resort to... They worship nothing but money. Regrettably, my interests are... 2 months ago, I was in Le Havre to set... When I overheard a conversation, but if they are to be believed, the Club de Massiac des Esclaves sans sommeil. It's hard to say what this, but I fear they plan to administer some foul drug to their slave. Our organization will not let these poor souls in... Aegis, we must look into...
You speak of greed, Monsieur Raymond. But could you enlighten us as to what...
What exactly do you accuse me of, Monsieur de...
Do you not also exploit the labor of these poor souls yourself?
I fight every minute of every day to improve their condition.
If that's the case, then why wait? You preach abolition, yet you continue to line your pockets at their expense. The truth is, you refuse to upend the established colonial order because you're...
It's easy to criticize from atop Mount Olympus, Maximilian. What would happen to all these people if I freed them tomorrow? I would be condemning them to the most abject misery.
Any reform, revolutionary or not, must be...
This reform is not so difficult. There you will not find slaves, but workers, and my plantation is known...
Ah, yes, profit. Because that's the most important...
Monsieur, calm yourselves. What Monsieur Raymond has related to us... We must find out more about this plot to create... Aegis, you are the only one who stands a chance of making...
Monsieur de Mirabeau. Minister Necker claims that you are a familiar...
That old story. This, madame, is nothing but an unfounded rumor. To what do I owe the displeasure of...
I must get hold of some documents that are kept in an archive.
What lock could resist...
Minister Necker said it was indestructible.
Well, let me After all, a lock is nothing that can resist the expertise. Why don't you ask him for help?
I'll be sure to do...
Now, who else? Oh, there's Monsieur Lavoisier. I'm sure he'll have no trouble finding you...
Good.
Now, if you'll forgive me...
You are forgiven.
In that case, it...
Monsieur Lavoisier,
What can I do for you, Aegis?
I would like to access the contents of a safe that is supposedly unbreakable. Dare I ask for your help, Monsieur Lavoisier?
And how can I be...
I need gunpowder to break through...
Gunpowder? But do you think I just walk around with explosives in my...
Oh. I apologize.
Mirabeau? What is this ridiculous... Where is the animal?
He has left.
Eh bien. If I could inspect the safe and determine what metal was used in its but given the circumstances,
I understand. How do you intend to
Unfortunately, we don't have the upper hand. I am convinced that something is afoot. Something...
You have my full attention.
You should know that I am a gun... As such, I oversee the provision of gunpowder for the past 2 days. A large... It's in a warehouse by the factories. But the men I sent to take possession of the cargo, and do you realize what...
The gunpowder could have fallen.
It's possible. One thing is whether it is still in the warehouse or has fallen. Then, if possible, we...
How?
Simply by placing it in contact with water. Nothing could be easier in theory, but...
Flood the gunpowder. We're in the most desperate of situations, and what will our cannons use once we have formed...
Your army, Marquis, is presently but a fig...
I see. So you're one of those men who would sound the retreat...
I will go to the warehouse. Once I... Goodbye, Monsieur Lavoisier.
Has anyone seen Monsieur de Mirabeau?
Monsieur Bailly.
Ah, mademoiselle. I am very pleased.
I found a document written in a script.
Let me see. Ah, je vois. A variation on Taylor's system, no doubt. I'm wont to use it myself from...
What does it say?
Je crois. The author writes that the subject died from a large of prussic...
What is prussic acid?
You should ask Monsieur Lavoisier.
I'm looking for a way to force a lock that is... Monsieur de Mirabeau advised me to ask...
But I'm an astronomer. I know my way around lenses, filters. But I've never given a moment's thought to how a lock... Monsieur de Mirabeau, où est-il, ce brave homme?
He has left.
Excuse me? That's madness.
Intriguing indeed. Monsieur Lavoisier.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
What is prussic?
It's a volatile compound extracted from Prussian blue, which is a...
What does it do?
Oh, it's a lethal poison. Though at weaker doses, it merely induces a deep sop...
A deadly put...
Aegis?
I did not find the...
Vraiment?
I did not find the warehouse.
Vraiment? It's near Les Invalides.
Goodbye, Monsieur Lavoisier. They fled in that direction. I should be able to find a way in. I have already passed by the Église Sainte-Marie. I can get back there quickly from here. Not a single one escaped. traces of gunpowder. It would appear that Monsieur Lavoisier's gunpowder was taken to the Bastille. Some worshippers were able to escape the automats. They ran towards the entrance to the catacombs.